Hey Lily, are you an angel? Hi guys, it's Michaela back again with another video, and this time I'm doing something a little bit different. All of my past videos have basically either been book reviews or just wrap-ups of what I read that month, and this time I'm going to attempt a read with me. If you didn't watch my last video, which I highly recommend you do, I am house sitting right now, so that is why you are not seeing my empty apartment. You are seeing someone else's very much lived in home. I am house sitting for friends of mine who are fellow book lovers and dog lovers. Hey Lily, do you want to come say hi? That was a strong no face that I just got. The book I am going to be doing a read with me on is one that was suggested by Kira, who is one of the members of this household. I can't remember if she recommended it to me because she thought I would love it or because she thought I would hate it. But just being someone who judges books by their covers, I think it's gonna be because I'll hate it. This is the selection by Kira Cass, and it falls under the genre of books of skinny white girls with ball gowns on the cover, so that's something. This came out in 2012. I was still in high school, so it is by no means a new book. It's something that I have seen in like bookstores and just like around a lot, but I've never thought to pick it up because it looks like this. But I have an afternoon to kill, so I'm going to attempt to read this, and I will pop in with my thoughts along the way. Maybe I'll love this. Like, maybe I will just be head over heels. I also have the second one that I borrowed from Kira, my friend. I'm also hoping this is the first one. I will definitely let you know if I've accidentally grabbed the wrong one. But what? Sir, do you mind? Best friends. Something tells me this is going to be a very 2012 book. So I'm excited for a little bit of a blast in the past. All right, here we go. I guess we're doing this. Okay, so I'm one chapter in, and I don't hate it so far. It's not like fantastic. It's not grabbing me right away. So just based on what I've read from the back of the book and then this one chapter, I'm getting that the plot is that this is a post-collapse America, like it's a new America, and there's like a really stratified caste system, and so the prince of this new country, Ilea, which feels a little bit close to Gilead for my comfort, is going to marry a commoner, and so Princess Ballgown over here is gonna enter the competition, even though she doesn't want to, because she's not like those girls. This is an example of the writing that makes me think I'm not going to love this. The idea of being entered into a contest for the whole country to watch as this stuck-up little wimp picked the most gorgeous and shallow one of the bunch to be the silent, pretty face that stood beside him on TV. It was enough to make me scream. Could anything be more humiliating? I don't know, Chandler Bing, can it? I love when books just like tell you the plot right like that. Like I said, I don't hate it. And yeah, keep reading. Okay, so I'm 2 chapters in now, and it's like really obvious what the plot of this book is going to be. It's like she is in love with this guy in her neighborhood, Aspen, who is, oh, the main character's name is America. I don't think I said that before. She's in love with a guy in her neighborhood named Aspen, and he is a caste below her. The castes are numbered 1 through 8, I think. With like the royalty being 1 and then 8 being whatever the bottom is. 8 hasn't been described yet. So like it's not likely that American Aspen are going to be together, but he has encouraged her to enter the selection to be the prince's wife. And like she doesn't want to do it because she's like, I love you, I don't want to marry this prince guy, and like obviously she's gonna get picked and the two of them are gonna fall in love, and now there's a love triangle, right? Like it's pretty obvious. I don't like hate that it's obvious, but it's also like just so 2012. It's kind of annoying. Like I might have enjoyed this in high school, but right now it just feels a little boring, but I soldier on. I'm 6 chapters in, about 70 pages, and there's some it's fine. Like, it's fine. Um Lots of, like, I would say there's like moderate I'm not like other girls energy in this. I've definitely read worse. There's like lots of judging other women by their appearances in a way that's like not cool or fun. I was actually really liking Aspen, the guy that she's in love with in her neighborhood. But he turned into like this weirdly dickish character. And like, I get it. I get that financial stuff is hard, and being from like a different social strata than the person you're in love with is hard. But he was just like a real dick to her about it. Um, and when she called him out on it, he doubled down. And yeah, I get where this love triangle is going, right? Like, she has to choose, but is going to end up having to choose between this guy that she loves from her neighborhood and the prince. And that's fine. Like, that's where that's going. But like, I don't know. I already don't like one of the two. So let's hope the prince isn't a dick. Although, let's be real, I'm not hopeful about it. I've decided to start reading by the pool. Hey, Zeke. Hey. 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 So I moved back inside because even though it's March, this is Florida and it was sweltering outside. I have no idea. I'm now 10 chapters in, about 120 pages. And so America, the main character, she's just run into the prince before they're supposed to meet, and this whole, like, she was trying to get outside in the middle of the night. It's like literally a scene I've read like a million times before, where he like helps her get outside. It super unoriginal. But I just wanted to comment on how bad the dialogue is. His dialogue in particular is like horribly written. I think it's supposed to sound very like erudite and like posh, but he just sounds like an ass. Like, there's nothing, I don't know, it doesn't feel royal. It doesn't feel I don't know what it's supposed to feel like, but it feels really bad. It's their whole exchange was just some of the worst dialogue I've ever read. I was like actually laughing out loud by how bad it was. So that's something to consider if that's what the rest of the book is going to be like. This is going to be a slog. Okay, I'm a little less than halfway through, and there are two things I want to comment on. One thing I like and one thing I don't. The thing that I like is this sort of plot point of America telling the prince, whose name is Maxim. Wait, is that even right? I literally don't. Maxon. Whatever. Completely forgettable. Telling him that point blank, she doesn't want to win, but she just wants to stay long enough to get some money and resources for her family, and that she is willing to trade her friendship and like sort of being his inside person to all the other girls in order to just stay just for a little bit, and then he can, send her home. I thought that was cool. Obviously, I don't think that's how it's going to end up. I think one or both of them is going to end up catching feelings. But at least for now, I didn't see that part particularly coming, so I liked it. The thing I don't like is this increasing I'm not like other girls energy that is coming from this book. And it's almost a necessary part of this type of story. Whereas when you have a main character who is being pitted against 34 other girls who are all competing for the same thing, like, you have to make her stand out. And so the way that she's standing out is that she doesn't want it and thinks that it's all ridiculous. But that just makes her seem like an asshole. Especially because she's like very well aware that this whole process could lift her family out of poverty. I don't know if I explained this in any of my other clips, but so there's 8 levels of this caste system, with 1 being at the top and 8 being at the bottom. I think I said that part. So she's a 5, and she's only one of 3 fives in this whole group of 35 girls who are all competing, and everyone else is like a 3 or a 4. I think maybe some 2s, I don't know. So she's like at the bottom of this, like she's the one with the most to gain. And like I get that you don't want to do this. Like it's perfectly fine not to want to be pimped out to some prince you don't know. Like that's acceptable. But like there's just no consideration for the benefits, really. And it's also just not interesting to have your main character not want to participate in something in like the whole plot of the book. Like that's not interesting. This book obviously reminds me quite a bit of The Hunger Games because it's kind of the same thing where like there's this whole televised competition thing and it's like kind of cutthroat. Obviously the stakes are like super much way lower than The Hunger Games because she's probably not going to die. But like obviously Katniss in The Hunger Games didn't want to fucking participate, but she understood the stakes and was like, I guess I'm all in it, right? She was still engaged in the plot of her own story. This bitch doesn't even want to be here. So I'm like, what? I don't want her to be here either because she's boring as shit. This book and books of its ilk, like books where the protagonist has to compete for something, are always more interesting when the protagonist is invested in the end goal. Like, how much more interesting would this book have been if she was like, fuck yeah, I want to win, fuck these other bitches, like, I'm going to be in this, and if she were like an actual competitor and then had to like figure out the best way to do that. That would have been way more interesting than her just trying to stay long enough to get some money and then go home. Like, I don't care about her story because she makes herself very much not someone I want to follow. Okay, so I'm 200 pages in, roughly. And I like him. Maxim, the prince. Ah! I feel like I'm always going to have the princess ballgown girl inside of me. Because he's a little swoon-worthy. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the writing's still not anything spectacular. It's not terrible, but it's not great. But he seems like a nice dude. He's not an ass. Which when it comes to YA male love interests that's the bar, is not an ass. So he's cleared that bar. And I do like him. I did not expect this. And I hate myself for it. Oh no, I'm shipper trash. Thanks, Richie Dog. I finished. It took me about 4 hours, I think. Yes. It took me about 4 hours to read it, but I also was doing other stuff in between and the dogs were distracting. I didn't hate it. I'm really surprised I didn't hate it. I wouldn't say I loved this. It was a very fun trash read. It's not super complicated. So this is book 1. I don't know how many books there are. In the back, there's only the picture of the sequel Elite. So I think I don't know if that means there's only 2 or if there's more than that. I mean, I'm definitely reading the second one because I want to know what happens. This book tries to say some big things about gender roles and income inequality and sort of social inequality, and that's cool. I don't know if what it has to say is particularly deft, but it's certainly not bad. One thing I'm really looking forward to for the sequel is what's going on with the history of this country. So essentially in this book, all of North America, from Canada on down to the end of Central America, at least from what I can tell, is one country, just with a bunch of different states or territories or provinces. I can't remember what they're called. And it is very clear, it is really clearly hinted in this that the history that they're being told about how this new country came to be is not correct or is not complete. America's father has a U.S. history textbook or book of some kind that has been clearly pulled from a fire, like it's been someone has attempted to destroy it, and she's not supposed to tell anyone that they have it, and they're not allowed to read about history. They can only be told history in class. So like clearly something's being hidden, and I'm the most curious about that. I am the most curious about sort of the socio-political things, but that is not surprising for me. Whenever there is like a larger socio-political plotline and a romantic plotline, I'm always going to pick the socio-political stuff over the romance. It's not that the romance in this is good. I am interested. I mean, I've certainly read better, but like it's interesting enough. It's capturing my attention. But I just want to know what's going on in this country. I want to know what's going on in the world. I want to know because basically the society is after World War IV. So like I want to know all of that shit. But I don't know how many answers we're gonna get because like I could only like formulate a couple of questions from this based on the information we've gotten so far. So I can't imagine in book 2 we get very many more answers when the romance is such a big part of this book. Like it's the A plot, and then all of the political stuff is like a D plot, and there's nothing in between. Like it's so background, even though to me that's the most interesting part, which is a little frustrating. As far as the whole competition for the romance thing is going on, I don't care about the competition very much at all, because like again the stakes were so low because early on America basically tells the prince that like, look, just keep me around here for a while and I will just be your friend, basically. I'm not interested. And then not too long after that, the prince tells her, I'm going to keep you around until the very end, so that your family can get the money for you being here. So like relatively early on, we know that she makes it to the end. So like there's no tension at all. So I didn't really ever care about the competition. I do like her relationship with Maxon. And then of course by the end, Aspen, the boyfriend from back home, he's there. He's a member of the military now. He's like her guard. And again, I kind of don't like him anymore because he was such a dick to her. And he's still getting to being a dick to her now. He's trying to make up for her, but So I guess I'm going to give this 3 stars. I had a fun time reading it. It's certainly not bad. It's not like high literature or anything. I think it fits very well into the genre of skinny white girls in ball gowns. I think that's accurate. It's a good, weekend afternoon read, which is exactly when I read it. I have the second one already. I don't know when I'm going to start it. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today. I kind of have absolutely no plans. That was a fun exercise. I really liked doing this read with me, like forcing myself to stop every once in a while and just sort of give my opinion on what's happening. I don't think I'm going to do it for the second one, but like also I might. Lily, what do you think? Did you like it? That's all I have to say on this book. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to go out and get supplies if you can in case a coronavirus quarantine befalls you. And also, whenever it is your time to do so, please vote. Because, wow, do we need someone else in charge. And honestly, what is the presidential election if not a bunch of people in ball gowns asking us to love them? What the fuck am I talking about? Okay, that's all I have to say. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.